Today on Building the Exocet, I'm going to show you how to remove your bushings out of your rear end suspension pieces. Okay, so we're over here in my side yard. This is a project you do not want to do in your garage because it smells horrible. I do have a shop press, however, I have never had real good luck with getting these rubber bushings out of suspension components using a shop press. It's just not a real strong, stable surface to try to put in the press to keep the press vertically putting its force down through the piece. I prefer the burning out method. I just use this basic, small propane torch. I would advise getting a larger handle size propane torch that you run off a 20-pound tank. It just gives a lot wider stream of heat, as well as just covers more surface area of the bushing. Basically what you're trying to do when you heat these up, you're not so much trying to melt the rubber as you're trying to heat up the metal pieces. Once you heat those metal pieces up, take a nasty old screwdriver, and once they get hot enough, they will simply just push right out. Then at the very end, you can burn out the rest of the rubber. I'd say it probably takes about 5 to 6 minutes on average for me to burn a bushing out. I usually turn the torch on, let it heat up, kind of fiddle around with some other stuff for a couple minutes, move it to each side, and then come back, push the metal insert out, and then get the other metal insert out, and you're good to go. So it takes a while. It smells just horrible. I definitely probably wear a respirator or stay away from the fumes if at all possible. I'm sure it can't be good for you. But basically what we're trying to do is then turn it into this with the bushings removed. This piece has been lightly sandblasted. Obviously it was a couple days ago. It's got some surface rusting on it, but this is what you want to end up with after removing the bushings. Alright, so as you can see, bushings are out. Here's what the inside looks like. Hopefully these are cool. Basically there's an inner sleeve inside this outer, and there's rubber between these two here and on the outside. This middle piece, you're going to want to heat the metal up. You want to actually try to heat this piece. You don't want to try to burn the rubber because it's just going to take forever for it to melt. It will catch on fire, but concentrate on getting heat in the metal. Once this drops out, then get heat inside this metal. That helps these pieces hot out. Once these get hot enough, they will melt the rubber and the rubber will free. And then basically, you just take a screwdriver and ream out the excess rubber that's burning. That's the easiest and quickest way I found for removing bushings overall. Sometimes a press is quicker. If they're really nasty old ones, I find that burning them out's always worked quicker for me. So I got the control arms, the power plant frame, rear sway bar, and I'm trying to think, I'm forgetting what else. A couple other tie bar, a couple other things. Taking over the sandblaster. It's Saturday right now. He's going to be done with them Monday or Tuesday once the weather's a little better because he does all his blasting outside. So I'm going to get those all blasted, and then those will be ready for me to powder coat. Right now, next step is removing the brake calipers, CV axles, and tearing apart the differential. And getting these all stripped, bushings. As you can see, there's a bushing in each of the hubs, spindles here. Got to get those all stripped apart and get those ready for sandblasting. Hopefully I'll have those ready in time to pick up the other parts. So I had a couple of pretty badly seized calipers here. This last one, I don't know if you can see in the picture, but this disc is worn so deep there's about probably a 3/32 inch lip on the outside from where the pad wear was. That caliper was seized on the wear surface here, and it would not get over that lip. I actually had to end up banging it out and cracking off some of the disc here. But the nice surprise was, while I was banging, CV joint popped right out. I was kind of concerned with these because I've read a few horror stories of people having a difficult time having to take them to a machine shop to get these pressed out. But yeah, they popped right out. So I got one more to remove here. Hopefully it's as easy as this one. A couple whacks with a hammer and it popped right off. So let's get to the next one. Focus on with the differential here is getting the two stubs out. Then I'm going to go ahead and crack the case open and go from there. The 10 bolts removed from the differential to the housing. Now time to take a mallet and knock this puppy off. Okay, differential's uncased now. Finally found out it is not a Torsen, it is an open diff. So no biggie, I figured that was the case. Now, since this piece here has a lot of surface rust and is really nasty, I want to get this sandblasted before I paint it. It's just too nasty to try to. So because of that, you know, everything in the differential looks just awesome. It's in really, really good shape. So I'm real happy with that, but unfortunately I'm going to have to pop the ring gear and the pinion out and go take it and get it sandblasted, get a new pinion bearing, new pinion seal, just while I have it out, and get everything, make sure everything's good to go on that end, and then that way I'll be able to paint it and have it looking pretty. Okay, so in order to powder coat and sandblast the differential housing, unfortunately I had to nearly completely pull apart the differential. So here's the parts of a 1.8 open differential. Laying here, basically have races, bearing caps here, bearings here, ring gear. Everything looks really nice. Pinion shaft, pinion, and the crush washer. It's about $70 to order the rebuild kit. That includes all new seals, which are a must because I had one leaking, as well as new races and bearings, and then a crush washer and a few other odds and ends in there. So I didn't want to have to pull this out. I did not show the procedure for pulling this out because, in all honesty, I don't have a clue what I am doing. Rear ends, everything I've ever heard my whole life was these are very tricky to set up, getting your preloads and thrust set and backlashes. So I'm not going to attempt to explain how to do it because I don't want to do it wrong. And I probably will be doing it wrong when I do it. I've read a lot of information online, as well as talking with my father-in-law and a friend that have set them up before, and I think I got a pretty good handle on how I got to go about it. I had to order a couple measuring tools, a large 7/8 inch C-clamp micrometer. What else did I have to do? A inch-pound dial, torque wrench, things like that to set them up. So I would probably advise someone to take this into a shop and have them set up the rear end. I just want to try to learn how to do it. So I'm going to do it. If it's wrong, I'll have to pull it out and get it done, or pull it out and talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay, so I have the differential housing here. Need to remove the bushings on either side. I burnt the rubber out of the first one. However, the sleeve, the outer metal sleeve, I'll go ahead and show you, right here is pressed in. So I need to go ahead and I'm going to hit this with a chisel. I don't have my press here, it's at my shop, but I need to hit this sleeve here, crack it in half, and push these bushings, push these sleeves out. So 2 of them on this one. They're pretty good sized bushings. On one side there is a metal flange that lips all the way around, so you need to make sure you do it from, I believe this is the underside of the differential. Okay, so knuckles, spindles, whatever you want to call them, and hubs. Here's what I did for the removal. I tried my shop press over there, but there just was not a good way of fitting them in there and being able to press them out correctly. So basically what you're left with is the hub in the knuckle. Now, on the back here, and I'll scoot a little closer to the camera to show you, this is what it looks like when it is pressed in. Now that inner sleeve there on the hub is flush with this bearing or whatever it is, this cap here on the knuckle. Now in order to get it off, I did have to sacrifice the heat shield, bent it in, and then basically it was just a matter of getting some 2x6s and propping up the knuckle like so, and then a hammer and I forget what it was, 25mm chisel, whatever the diameter of this hub is here, and I just basically smacked the crap out of it. After about 4 or 5 blows, popped right through. Then there is a bushing in this knuckle. Burnt that out, came out very, very easy. Once again, heating the inner sleeve metal, not trying to burn the rubber out, but heating the sleeve metal up and then pushing it out. So all I have left to do now is remove these bearings real quick, remove the race, excuse me, and then these are off to powder coating as well. Okay, so the video hasn't gone so far how I wanted it to. I really ran into a trouble with the differential. I ended up taking the whole thing apart. I did not plan on doing that because it looked pristine inside, but I wanted to powder coat both sides of the case. So that really kind of made me miss the videos on pulling apart the brake calipers, pulling apart the differential, removing the hubs, cleaning up the knuckles, things like that. So sorry about that. This video isn't very complete. It's not what I wanted it to be, but I just got sidetracked and had stuff to do. So this video, I'm not going to get into powder coating. That's actually going to end up being next video. Right now, stuff's at the sandblaster, as it was much easier just to take it to someone to have them do it. Much less time and really not much cost. So the next video is going to be on powder coating some of the rear suspension frames, how me as a first timer and beginner is going to do it. It's absolutely probably not going to be the correct way, but from what I've read, that's what I'm doing, and you can see the results I can get in my garage. So until next time, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you like it. It gives me a little bit of encouragement to keep making these videos.